Okay, can everybody hear me all right? Hopefully you can. So welcome everyone to our third and final panel presentation. Hopefully you've enjoyed the first two, and I'm really excited to welcome our guests today. It's really an honor and a privilege to be able to listen to and hear the stories from our three panelists. I'll let them introduce themselves in just a moment. Hopefully you're making more connections between what you've been hearing from the panelists and what you've been reading in the Talent Code and the Pathway to Empowerment and all those things, and starting to blend this all together, because starting next week, we'll be moving into the next phase, which is when all of you students will be working on your projects. So let's go ahead and get started, and please think of questions as we're going through. I will stop probably about 4:10 or so. I'll try to stop some of the questions that I have prepared and let you ask some questions. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let our panelists introduce themselves. Please give your name and your current position or role in the local community. Dr. Baginski, it looks like you are unmuted. Do you mind going first?
No, not at all. I'm Dr. Jessie Baginski. I'm the president and CEO of Leadership Lake County, which is a local nonprofit that's been around for 35 years, providing leadership development for middle school students, high school students, young professionals, and senior level professionals. And Betty is one of our graduates.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Marcita Ferguson. I am the founder of Black Lives Matter Lake County. I am also the manager of probation services for Cuyahoga County. I've been a resident of Painesville City for over 25 years. I've run for office. I sit on the board of United Way, NAACP. I'm on the Big End Conversation Committee, which is dedicated to social and racial justice in Lake County. And I'm excited to be here.
Thank you.
I am Betty Jacobs. I am the founder and executive director of LGBTQ+ Allies Lake County. We are a nonprofit that provides support and education, resources and services to the LGBTQ community and their allies. And we provide safe space trainings to businesses, organizations. I have been to Lake Erie College and done a safe space training there. And I'm excited to listen to this conversation. I think it'll be awesome.
Thank you all very much. Yeah, thanks for being here. This is a great opportunity to hear from each of you and learn a little bit about how you've developed into leaders in the community and what's inspired you. So the first question I have is, could you briefly describe your academic and career path and what led you to your current role? And since you're already on the screen, Betty, do you want to go first?
Oh, sure. I worked a lot in the nonprofit field, and through that work, I realized that there were services and support gaps for the LGBTQ community. So I went back to school, and I have an associate's in human service, and I'm in my last year of my bachelor's of social work, working exclusively with the LGBTQ community.
Thank you. Okay, Marcy, do you want to go next?
Yep, I am a double alum from Lake Erie. Shout out. I got my bachelor's in legal studies and a master's in business from Lake Erie College. I have worked in the community for probably over 8 to 9 years, so that led me to found the Black Lives Matter chapter here because of the racial injustice that we have here, a lot of structural racism and discrimination that I think our county is actually working to resolve and actually become a model for the state of Ohio. So who else to lead with me and my friends, because we just decided that we were going to do that.
Thank you.
Well, and probably being the eldest panelist among us, I will say I have a very different path to where I am today. I was born and raised in the inner city of New Orleans, which a lot of people know who know me. And we had a corner grocery store. So we started out in business as soon as we could reach a shelf. If you could reach it, you stocked it, was the deal. But I've been in Lake County for about 35 years now. And a very different path. I mean, there was nothing linear about my path from education to here. I went back to Lakeland College when I was 40 years old to finish college because I had dropped out after 2 years. And then from there went to work for Lake Tran as one of our government agencies in public relations and marketing. And most of my career has been public relations and marketing. And quite honestly, when the former director was getting ready to retire, she said, "Oh, come on in, let's have a cup of coffee and let's talk." And at the time I was a professor for CSU as an adjunct, and rest is history. I've been volunteering with the organization for 25 years. So it's been part of my blood.
Very nice, thank you. So as you're aware, we read the talent code as our common reading. And one of the questions that I'd like to start off with is there a particular talent that you've been able to develop in an intentional way? And what we found in the past is a lot of times people will be able to develop talents during periods of adversity. Was that the case for you, or was it maybe in a different scenario?
Well, and actually this might also answer someone's question that's up on the chat box in terms of, skills I've developed. One is strategic thinking and the other is relationship building. And those two are critical to success, not only in what I do, but I think in Lake County in general. Lake County is very heavily based in relationships, and that's a good thing because people care about each other. And so it's how we will get things resolved in Lake County. In terms of adversity playing a role in that, absolutely. I was a single mom from the time my son was a year old until he was 13. So that's my big adversity because I don't have any family here. So I had to really learn how to juggle work, going back to school, raising a child, all of those things at one time. So that's what prompted me to go back and finish my degree. Is I realized that in order to make a better living for my child and myself, it was going to require a better education.
Thank you.
Mine would probably be networking. I am an introvert by nature, so it has been an interesting change to be a founder and executive director because I cannot succeed without networking and without community building. So with that, I've had to step out of my comfort zone. And as far as adversity, so another barrier that I have on top of that is I am not your stereotypical lesbian. Unfortunately, society has a mold of that, what that should look like. So I ultimately come out just about every day or whenever I'm in a new setting. The society norms are that you are born straight. So I automatically get a husband, usually assigned to me, ask if he's coming with me or if I have children and what that looks like. So it could be some awkward conversations that I've had, and I'm getting better at it and it's getting easier, but it is definitely a learning experience.
That's really quite appropriate with what we've been talking about regarding the talent code and the pathway to empowerment. How do you motivate yourself to move outside of your comfort zone? And it sounds like you need to be basically courageous every day, and whether it's networking or just coming out and just being honest. Is there some trick to it, or is there something that some way that you've kind of been able to push yourself beyond, that comfort zone?
I started LGBTQ plus Allies Lake County because I had a friend that committed suicide, and she was 50 years old. And she was a successful veterinarian, had no issues, no mental illness, no addiction, other than she was outed by somebody, and she was afraid that she was going to lose everything. She had left a note, so we kind of know some of this. So her only out was to commit suicide. So when I sit in the office every day, well, I'm not in there every day now because of COVID, but when I was in there every day, every single day I get at least one call with suicide thoughts or a crisis. And we do have a crisis hotline here in Lake County that works very well. And I do work very closely with the Adams Board and with a lot of the other mental health and addiction agencies here. And that's been awesome. But what I'm hearing on the other end of the line is So 100% of the time so far, they have not taken that number from me. And they say because they want to talk to somebody that will understand, and they don't know if the person on the other end will judge them for who they are. So I've sat on the phone for up to 2 hours just talking. I usually end up getting to meet that person because we do offer support groups. So I can usually get them to come to one of our support groups. But there are times I've hung up that phone and I don't know what happens. So my motivation is I don't have a choice. My discomfort isn't worth people's lives. So it comes down to human life and what it's worth. I feel like if I can do it and I can help one person, then I've done my job.
Thank you. So we have some questions coming in. Marcita, do you want to take this question? Can you give advice on how an LEC student can help get active in social justice and help spread awareness?
Yeah, so it's a part of my question number 4, but I want to address question number 3 really quick first, and then I'll move into 4.
Great.
Okay, I would say a crafted message is something that I learned. I'm very saddened by the fact that we have 200,000 plus Americans that have died, 33 million people on unemployment. I'm happy for the adversity. I'm happy that Black people and white people are standing together against racial injustice, social injustice against people of color. And it is like the most proud moment. It has given me the opportunity to be able to craft messages to people who don't understand where we're coming from. Like Jessie stated, her networking and her relationship building is essential to her. I have done networking and relationship building my entire career, but it doesn't equate to what my white counterparts, what it means to them, the advantages, especially in Lake County, that they've had. I work for Cuyahoga County. I've written policy for the second juvenile court ever established in the country, and I've applied in Lake County for jobs multiple times to never get a call back, and to have even a city administrator say that they don't want to pay me what I'm worth. So this adversity and that this climate in our country right now has allowed me to give a message that people are able to understand. And it changes from group to group, from college students to professionals. And it gives us the opportunity to be honest and to say we are no longer going to live the lie that everything is okay. You know, I live in Lake County. I love this community. I've fought for it. I give back. I do things. But I am upset about the things that are going on. And I'm able to now talk about those things in a space that feels more safe than, then I'm going to lose my job or lose every person that will talk to me. Or if I don't agree with what someone said, they're going to try to blackball me and all these other things. This adversity has made it to the forefront that we have to be honest with ourselves. So I would say a crafted message is what I've learned. And then moving into question number 4, because you sent them to us. I think it talked about the moment. I can't exactly remember what the question is, but it's going to address that question in the box.
Yeah, so can you describe a moment or perhaps a person who ignited you, and that's a term from the book, to become a force for positive change in the community?